So welcome to St. Cyres School, and for many of you who may have children already in the school, it's a welcome back, and for many others who perhaps this is your first child coming through the school, it's a first welcome to you. And regardless of whether you've been with us for some time or whether you're new to the school, I'd like to extend on behalf of the staff and the rest of the school a very, very warm welcome to you all indeed. My name is Mr. Lewis. I'm the acting head teacher at St. Cyres. It's my privilege and pleasure to lead this wonderful school. My staff and I are very, very much looking forward to welcoming your son and daughter into our Year 7 in September. I want to start off by saying that your child is one of the lucky ones. We had well over 350 applications to the school for September into Year 7. We've actually only got 210 places available. And demand for places remains very, very strong. And that reflects our ethos of support and well-being, which underpins our very strong academic performance. Results this summer were predicted to be very strong, both at GCSE and A-level. And teachers at St. Cyres work very hard for their pupils. They always go the extra mile. And we have a strong belief that children who are happy and well supported thrive in school, become well-rounded and well-adjusted individuals. Happy people, happy children do well in school. And we'll all play a big part in this. Your child will join our school as a young boy or a young girl, and will leave us as a young man or a young woman. And we take our role in that very seriously indeed. In fact, there's nothing better as a secondary school teacher than to see young people in our school community develop and thrive in their time with us. Now, in a large school like St. Cyres with almost 1,200 pupils, I don't run the school on my own. I have a very strong and committed staff, both teaching staff and non-teaching staff. The leadership team consists of myself, along with Mr. Bruton, who is the acting deputy head teacher, and then we've got Mr. MacDonald, Miss Hirani, Miss Laidlaw, Mrs. Berry, who are all assistant head teachers. So if you're new to the school, you'll soon get to know these, as they play a very, very important role in the day-to-day running of the school. Some of them you'll see in this video, and others you'll get to meet hopefully in the new term. On the subject of key roles, one very important person to introduce you to is Mr. Morris, who will be the head of Year 7 in September. Mr. Morris is an experienced head of year. In fact, he's just finished a 5-year rotation where 5 years ago he picked up a new group of Year 7 pupils and was their head of year right through until Year 11 when they finished the compulsory schooling just this summer. So he's very experienced. He'll be the key person that you will have contact with, and his role really is to oversee the well-being and the academic progress of your child, and in fact of all 210 children in Year 7. Mr. Morris will introduce himself shortly in this video, and he'll tell you a little bit more about what his role is. And he'll also introduce you to 8 other teachers we call learning coaches, or form teachers, who will be the learning coaches for next year's Year 7. And they also play an important role. They'll be the day-to-day contact for your son or daughter while they're in school, and they'll be there to offer support and guidance on a day-to-day basis, as well as overseeing your child's academic performance. So finally from me, I'm very much looking forward to September. A new school year is always an exciting time as we welcome a whole new group of pupils into our school. We still don't know what September's going to look like, and we're waiting on some guidance on that. So we don't know whether we'll be fully open to all pupils right at the start, or whether it will be certain year groups on designated days. And as soon as we know anything, obviously, then I will be in touch with you to let you know that. But please be assured that I am following all the guidance from the Welsh Government. We're following that very closely, and that I put your child's safety at the forefront of our planning, as I do for all pupils and staff in the school. So however September might look, September will be an exciting time for you and your child. Schools always work best when parents, the school and the child work effectively together, and that's something that we all will do moving forward. As I previously mentioned, we take our role in that very seriously, and by that I mean their academic progress as well as their well-being. And we understand that you've trusted your child with us, and that we will do our very best as a school to bring out the very best in them. So I look forward to working with each and every one of you. I look forward to the opportunity when we can meet together in the school and get to know each other a little bit better. But in the meantime, I wish you and your families a very safe and enjoyable summer.
Hello to all our Year 6 parents and carers, and welcome to St Cyres School. My name is Miss Irani and I'm an assistant head teacher at the school. I am leading the transition process for your children and have been working very closely with a dedicated team of staff to ensure that your children have a smooth and enjoyable start to the school. We've been working very hard behind the scenes to collate information from primary schools so that we have as much information as possible for a smooth and settled start in September. If you haven't seen our welcome video for Year 6, please have a look. It can be found on our school website. Under the Pupil Information tab, there is a dedicated transition page where you'll be able to get a whole host of information. We hope that that provides you with some reassurance to Year 6 as they prepare for September. Starting secondary school can be a worrying time, but please be assured that we will do our very best to ensure that each and every pupil in Year 6 coming into Year 7 feels welcome, supported, but most importantly happy and safe at our school. Our mission statement is woven into everything that we do at St Cyres. Strive together, challenge yourself, and realise that everyone can succeed. The staff here at St Cyres eagerly await the arrival of your children and will do their very best to support your children to reach their full potential. We work to ensure 3 core principles: safety, progress, and respect. We don't know exactly what September will look like for schools in Wales, but I can assure you that since opening our doors on the 29th of June, safety has been at the forefront of our planning. We've used this time for pupils to check in, to help pupils catch up with skills and learning, and prepare for home learning. Details of the September start will be communicated to you as and when receive guidance from the Welsh Government and local authority. In the meantime, there are a few things that I'd like to ask your help with. First of all parents should have received a pupil profile form for completion. And whilst I'm aware that many of you have sent that in, I'd really appreciate it for those of you that still haven't had an opportunity to do that, would return those to us as soon as possible so that we can continue with gathering our data and information. Relevant paperwork for families that are entitled to free school meals will be sent out shortly. Our transition booklet, as I mentioned earlier, can be found on our school website, and this will help to answer many of the frequent questions pupils have about starting secondary school. We would like all pupils joining us to complete a 1-page profile. Now, information of that can be found on our Twitter page, it can be found on our website, and also there will be a Google Classroom code that will be sent to all children for them to join and to upload their 1-page profiles as a private message. This will help us to get to know your child in more detail and learn about their strengths and the ways in which we can best support them. It's been great to see so many Year 6 pupils getting involved in our transition activities. If you haven't been involved so far, please visit our website and look at our Twitter page, which is at Cyres Transition. We've had lots of activities on there for art, we've had drama, geography, history, and then the core subjects, English, Maths and Science as well. So please feel free to continue carrying out these activities over the summer holidays if you so wish to do so. We'd love to see more work, and it's been great to celebrate these successes through our transition newsletters, so please keep following us. As well as transition lead at St Cyres, I'm also responsible for supporting Mr Morris with Year 7, and we are both designated safeguarding leads at the school. Together, we ensure that Year 7 have a safe and secure environment in which to learn and excel. We monitor Year 7's progress and help to motivate them to be the best versions of themselves. In return, we expect Year 7 to be respectful to themselves, to their peers, to staff, their school environment, and within the community as they become ambassadors of our school. Attendance matters, be it in school as face-to-face learning with teachers or through our home learning schedules at present, particularly in the current climate we find ourselves in. Mr Morris and I will be monitoring attendance and punctuality throughout the year. Just to give you a flavour of how important attendance actually is, having 90% attendance sounds like a good number, but it actually equates to having 4 weeks off school in a year, and therefore missing 4 weeks of valuable learning. Over 5 years, at an attendance of 90%, that would equate to having approximately half a year of school missing. And that really is alarming. I will hand over to Mr. Morris now, who will be talking to you more about his role in more detail and the role of the learning coaches. I'm really looking forward to meeting you and your children, and when it's safe to do so, obviously. But in the meantime, I hope you have a good summer break.
Hello again to all those pupils joining us in September, as well as your parents and guardians. For anybody who hasn't seen the video that's on the school website, my name is Mr. Morris, and as Mr. Lewis said, I'm currently head of Year 11 at St. Cyres, and as of September, I will be head of Year 7, and so I'll be given the opportunity to work with yourselves, those of you joining us. Firstly, I hope you're all safe and well, and coping during these really unusual times. And those of you who've been able to go back into school, go back into your primary schools, I really hope that you're enjoying spending some time now finishing your time in primary school prior to joining us at St. Cyres. As Miss Harani mentioned, we've been very, very busy behind the scenes. I've been involved in literally dozens of meetings, virtual meetings, Zoom meetings, phone calls, emails, with your Year 6 teachers and with other key individuals who have been working with you. The meaning of that has been to try and gather as much information as we can about you that would help us to make your transition from your primary school to St. Cyres as smooth as possible. I've also been spending some time on Twitter and looking at the work that you have been sending in, the transition work that's on the school website and on Twitter, and it's been fantastic to see some of the work and some of the things that you're sending in, some of the things that you're spending your time on doing during lockdown. That's been really, really lovely. So as Mr. Lewis said, I've been asked to explain my role a little bit, just to explain what it means to be head of year, and what you can expect from me really during your time at St. Cyres. So the head of year's job is to get a balance between progress and well-being for the pupils in their year group. Okay, the 210 pupils who will be in our year group. Because obviously it's very important that during your time in St. Cyres, much like your time in primary school, that you make progress, that you improve upon your ability in your subject areas, and that your levels or your grades progress, and that you achieve whatever it is that you're capable of achieving. But it's also incredibly important that you are happy. You know, from experience, those pupils who are happy, who feel safe and who feel valued as individuals, those pupils are the ones who thrive, and those are the ones who then do very well in terms of making progress in academia. Okay, and so my job really is to balance that. So yes, keeping an eye very much on your grades, your levels, on your results, on progress that you're making across the board in different subject areas, but also really trying to make sure that your time in St. Cyres is enjoyable and that we address any needs, any concerns that might arise or that you might have. Okay, and we're already starting on that, as I say, at the moment with those meetings and discussions with primary teachers and key workers. All right, and we already have lots of plans in place in order to make sure that we do that, not just for the year group as a whole, but right down to the individual. Okay, and that's really my job, is to get to know you as individuals, to make sure that you can achieve your potential, whatever that might be. Okay, it's also my job to work very closely with parents and with guardians to form partnerships with you, because obviously what we want is the same thing. All those things I just mentioned, happy individuals who feel safe, who feel cared for, and who want to learn. And so it's my job to form those relationships with parents and guardians so that we're working together to ensure that can happen. It's why I encourage communication between home and school, and as many of you are already doing, emailing me, getting in contact with me with questions, with concerns, and I really do appreciate that, and it is really, really helpful for me to be able to do my job effectively. Mr. Lewis mentioned as well the role of the learning coach, other people who are very, very important, who will be working with you very closely and supporting you during your time in the school. So your learning coach, or some schools refer to them as form tutors, there's 8 of them, and I'm very, very fortunate. The 8 form tutors or learning coaches for Year 7 will be the same ones who worked so successfully with me for a number of years now with those pupils who have just finished with us in Year 11. And those 8 learning coaches, and you'll have opportunity to actually familiarise yourself with them. Each of them has prepared a short video introducing themselves and also talking about one area of the school that we thought you might want to know more about, something like praise and reward, the use of the iPads and technology. And so they've been very good in producing those videos, and they're going to be sort of drip fed onto the school website and Twitter feed as well. So keep an eye out for those sort of very valuable videos. Their job is to check in with you every day. Okay, and they will see you each day during learning coach time. They'll be bringing you to our assemblies, and their job really will be just to check in with you and make sure that you are in the right frame of mind, that you have no concerns, that you have with you the things that you need. They will get to know you very well, and they liaise very, very closely with me, giving me any information I might need in order to be able to help you as well. Okay. And obviously that insight's invaluable because they have that check-in time with you as well. And sometimes they will be meeting with you on a one-to-one basis just to discuss, if you have any questions, any concerns, anything that you would maybe like to raise as well. And so, as Mr. Lewis said, they're people whose input and role will be very, very valuable to you. I mentioned sort of communication between parents and myself, and obviously my email address is on all of the correspondence on Twitter and the school website, and I would encourage you to contact me should you have any questions. I've had a few questions already from a number of different parents that I thought I'd just take a couple of minutes to address as well, because I'm sure they're questions that a number of you might have. So one question that's come in is about FOBs and how lunch money or money for lunches in the canteen works. I know a number of you will be familiar with parent pay, and so when you join St. Cyres you'll be issued with a school fob, which you can top up in the school using cash, but parents, you'll be sent individualised details in order to log on to an account on parent pay for your child, and you'll be able to top it up, meaning they won't need to bring cash into the school. It will mean you can also pay on there for trips or materials or anything else that you want to pay for, and it'll also give you opportunity, should you wish to monitor or check on those things that are being bought, those things that your child is spending money on in the canteen. Other questions that are coming in about uniform, and again there will be an information sheet sent out it'll be to post on Twitter, and it's also going to be on the school website very shortly about uniform, about what uniform expectations are, and also the places that you are able to get your uniform, particularly now that we know, as announced very, very recently, that the Welsh Government announcements that schools are to be reopened for pupils from September. And obviously since that announcement, we've had a number of queries about what that will mean for Year 7s in particular, for transition activities or transition days. And once again, that's currently being worked on, as you can imagine, and you will have all of that information shared with you very shortly about what those days in September will look like, and how we hope to use some of that time to aid transition and make transition as smooth as possible as well. One of the final questions I've had questions about is form groups, learning coach groups. Will we know who we're being placed in classes with? Obviously in Year 7 in particular, you spend quite a lot of time in lessons with your learning coach group. The reason that we haven't shared those as of yet is that we have only just now finalised gathering all the information from primary schools, and one of the vital pieces of information that we have been asking in these meetings and on the transition forums is about people that you or your children work particularly closely with and particularly well with, and anybody who for whatever reason that we should try and avoid them being placed with, and that information is valuable as well, or invaluable for us doing that. And so that will be worked on this week in order to get those learning coach groups finalised, so we can get that out to you. As I say, hopefully, and I know that many of you are engaging with the Twitter at St. Cyres Transition account, or on the school website on the transition page there. If any of you have any questions about materials on there, please just send me an email. Again, my email address is on there. And if you have any concerns, anything that you think I should know, or if anything changes with circumstances or information that would help me to be able to prepare for your child's transition, then those things are invaluable. Please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. I really look forward to working with you as pupils and you as parents and guardians as well, to form those relationships, to get to know you and to make sure your time in St Cyres, I'm sure it will be enjoyable and that you will thrive as one of our pupils. Take care, and I hope to speak to you soon.